don't believe that at all, that it can be Monday. It's Monday, and today's like the 29th of July. So the month of July kind of just happened, and it kind of just sped past us. Hey, welcome to Periscope. How are you doing? Scorpio Dev 25255. Hey, what a name. You guys interest me because I'm always fascinated by how do you come up with these names on Periscope. When I joined years ago, I kind of just went for what I considered normal, like, just a normal name. Like, seriously, I kid you not. I just went by myself, right? And it has nothing to do with being a public figure or having being recognizable or so on. I just thought it was simpler to just go by my name, right? And I'm just fascinated at the names that you guys come up with. So I just want to give a shout out to my Periscope audience who are forever faithful, who are always joining me. Thank you. Love you. Thank you so much. You bless me every day. You just keep on tuning in. I'm so happy to have this. And I have to tell you, this has been one of the best weekends of the summer. I had a really good time. As you can tell, I got a lot of rest. Yes, Saturday all day, I laid up in bed. How does that happen? Like, I had one errand to do on Saturday. And when it was done, I spent most of the day in bed. Did I sleep? No, it was just, I didn't do laundry, didn't run up and down the stairs. You know what I mean? I just got a chance to just laid up in bed and I counted the hours. I literally was like, okay, it's 11. Okay, it's 12. And then it was 2 o'clock. Then it was 3 o'clock. And I was like, oh my God, I stayed in bed all day on a Saturday, like for 4 hours straight. Hence the reason why I look so refreshed this morning. So my plan going forward for fall and winter, I'm going to do more of this. Like on a Saturday, just lay up. It was so nice, so peaceful. Thank God we had a perfect day. So yesterday was Sunday. I was supposed to join my friend Dr. Tarver in Lansing. And we had a bit of a mishap on 696. Sucks. Aggressive drivers everywhere. Please don't drive aggressively. My daughter was driving, and as mom, you're sitting in the seat to make sure that she's, until she gets her license at least. And I kid you not, this person came out of nowhere and almost ran her out the lane. Poor thing was swerving to avoid hitting him. And you know how that works. You never swerve. She swerved and we ended up halfway across the freeway. I thought we were done. Luckily, it was Sunday morning and nobody was coming. Otherwise, we would be singing a different tune this morning. But thank God for his mercies. And it occurred to me that the first thought was, you didn't pray this morning. That was the first thought, that I did not pray before I got in the car. That was the first thought that came to me. So, of course, we went and took care of that. And then we kept on driving. And then we went about our business and so on. And then I can't begin to tell you. So here we are back again on Monday on 696, which is like the freeway from hell here in Metro Detroit. I mean, what's wrong with people? Tell me, what's wrong with people? I don't know. Aggressive drivers on 696, whether you're in the eastbound lane going towards, once you get past Woodward and I-75, that's when the aggressive driving starts on 696. I kid you not. And then when you're coming back, the aggressive driving is from 94 back all the way back to Woodward. Once you get past Woodward, people just seem to slow down and become better drivers. But from Woodward to eastbound, Woodward to I-94. So if Michigan State Police are listening, they need to hear this because it's just incredible. People are extremely aggressive. And I don't know about you. I'm already kind of, I'm aware that people drive badly. So I'm kind of like, stay away from me kind of thing. So I'm one of those people. I just want to drive and just la, 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 just think about getting to my destination. That would help. Instead of having to focus on everybody else's bad driving, that they're going to become a problem, and anticipating and people jumping in and out of lanes. For the love of God, people, if you have to be at work at 8 o'clock, get up at 6. Do not get up at 7:15 and jump in your car to get to work at 8 and you live 20 minutes from work. That does not work. If you have to get somewhere by 9 o'clock, what are you doing on the road at 8:45? You should be near your destination. I kid you not. I do not understand it. I can't get it. Every morning it's the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. I'm like, geesh, would you please just drive? They do everything but drive. They're in their cars, they're shaving, they're putting on makeup, they're fiddling with the screens, they're doing and then aggressively jumping in and out of lanes. I'm like, you're really not going to get any further. I mean, traffic is traffic. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Gets to me. I'm like, oh, you get out of the car and you're like, thank God I made it. Ah, I want tea to calm me down now. So anyway, so that accounts for our late start this morning, because we were just like, it took a while to get here. I've been driving since 10 minutes to 8, and I just got here like at 9:30. I was like, are you kidding me? Normally I get here by about 9 or before 9 o'clock, so I have enough time to sit down and, not this morning. Oh, traffic. So I kind of wanted to be a little bit, in tune with what I want to talk about, because I wanted to talk about sexuality and issues, and why is it so difficult for us to talk about sex? And you're hearing this from someone who considers herself an introvert. So I'm not going to say anything after that now, because you're probably looking at me and thinking I'm not an introvert. I'm actually a shy person. Did you know that? Do you know that one of the ways that I use to overcome my shyness is, guess what? Take a wild guess. By talking. So I talk to overcome my shyness. I'm shy. So I walk into an environment and I am shy. So it would have been difficult for me to start a conversation. But you know what I do when I walk in? I say hello to the first person I meet. I'm like, hi, hey. So I would say hi, or I would say hey, because sometimes when you say hey, people respond, better. When you say hi, people tend to look at you like, why are you so cheerful? I kid you not. So, and I'm one of those persons who wake up in the morning and I'll be walking like, you're on the elevator or you're in a building or something. And I would say, good morning. And people would look at me like, what's your problem? What's so good about the morning? Why are you so cheerful? So I stopped saying good morning because people were just so rude. I stopped. So I give them back the mean mug look as well. But it's against my personality. So I would just say, hey, and just stare long enough until they have to look again. And I'm smiling. So they have to smile. Because if I look at you long enough and smile, guess what? You're going to smile with me. I'll make you smile. I don't care how mean you are. If I stare at you long enough, person to person, you're going to smile with me. You don't have a choice, right? So me and my Southern hospitality, this is what I call my Southern hospitality, right? I live in the Midwest where people are like, what's so cheerful about the morning? What's so good about the morning? You walk into the coffee shop and this is your good morning. And they're like, what will you have? Right? And me and my Southern hospitality is like, okay, well, hello, hi. And I'm like, dang, they're just not having a good morning or whatever. And my kids are like, no, mom, it's because you're just different. Why do? And I'm not a morning person. Are you a morning person? I'm not a morning person. That's what I say to myself, because I don't like getting up in the mornings. But guess what? So I'm looking forward to the day when my youngest daughter, I have 2 children. My youngest daughter will be 17. I can't wait for her to go to college. Can you imagine? Next fall, oh my God, I get to sleep until 8 o'clock for the first time in 17 years. I will be so happy. I swear to you, I will be so happy. I will be so. So you know what I see all these folks do whose kids are in college, and they're always smiling, and I look at their faces and they look well rested, and I've been envying them for years. I'm about to join them. And the freedom. I don't have to pick up anyone. What? Are you kidding me? I don't have to make, the big one. I don't have to make dinner. Oh my God. What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen? Oh, Jesus. I can't wait. It's something to look forward to. At first I thought I would be like, feeling a little nostalgic or something. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, you're not looking at the benefits. There are pluses to this. You won't have to worry about cooking for anyone, doing anyone's laundry. and I can lay up in bed, say bed, right? Right? And you're all looking at me like, okay, Harriet, okay, okay. It's not all that it's cracked up to be. It is all that it's cracked up to be. Trust me. And I'm going to make it so. So this week I want to talk about sex and issues. How many are ready for that? And please, for the love of God, do not ask me to flash. Okay? Okay. Don't ask me to flash you, and don't ask me to say anything. Right? So somebody is saying something to me here, and it's already started. What are you saying? He says I'm to write him, girl. Okay, honey, I just wrote you. I said, hey, y'all need to head over to my YouTube channel. Stuff goes on over there. People say the craziest things to me. But that's okay. So just don't ask me to flash you when I talk about sex. This is not personal. Okay? Okay. All right. Okay. So I want to talk about sex and issues, and I wanted to talk about erectile dysfunction. And actually, I was going to invite a male friend to join me, but I didn't think it would be fair to him because then he probably would be uncomfortable. So I wanted to talk about issues that we experience in sex as we mature. And especially this part, this is the part that got to me. Why is it that men over, I can't find my ring. Why is it that men over 45, after they get to 45, they seem to go for women 25 and under? We need to talk about that, right? So we want to talk about sex and issues surrounding it. So I thought I'd start the conversation off by talking about erectile dysfunction. Studies show that erectile dysfunction it's in America. I don't know about the rest of the world, but the studies I read focused on America. It seems to start earlier and earlier. So those of you who are in your 30s, look out. And for some odd reason, I'm of the opinion, this is my opinion, that a lot of it has to do with the fact that maybe we start having sex too early here in America, right? When people go to college becomes a free for all, and you just start having sex randomly because you're free, right? So people start having sex so early, you use your prostate gland frequently, right? And I think what happens is that sex is supposed to be mysterious. There's supposed to be an element of mystery. The mystique behind it is designed to keep us coming back to the partner with whom you're attracted to. Instead, what we do is sex is just so open. We live in a society today that is so overly sexualized that even for men, that you rarely see a man's commercial without a man's naked chest or suggestive underwear, or you're looking at his posterior, or you're looking at his groin area. For women, it's even worse. I mean, we have commercials for underwear on TV that show women's bodies half naked, where 30 years ago, this would have never happened, right? Those commercials would be confined to just showing what the underwear looks like, but it wouldn't be on a body, right? So our society has become so overly sexualized that I find that, and I'm beginning to think that we need more and more kinds of stimulation in order to find sex appealing. Hence the reason why there's so much weird sex going on. People having sex with animals. Well, they've always done that. Some people are just weird, but they're having sex with people who are younger and younger and younger. It's because we're overly stimulated. So the traditional sex that you used to enjoy with one partner, or with a partner who is, closer to you in age or closer to you in whatever, that doesn't appeal to you anymore because you have overrun that. That's overdone. Hence and today with travel open, people go all over the world to have sex with teenagers. You know that, right? So this is not something new. People go to the Philippines and to Thailand and so on. You want to know what's real sex trafficking is? That's where sex trafficking happens. They have brothels where teenagers and people under 10 that are sold into sexual slavery by grown men from Western countries who go over there to get their sex on, get their pervertedness, their perversion on, and then come back and pretend that life is normal. That's where the real sex trafficking is. Can you do anything about it? No, there's a lot of corruption in those places. There's a lot of corruption with law enforcement in those places, so you'll never get it prosecuted, and people pay money to have their identities hidden. But it does happen. So what you find now is that people are so overly stimulated that they don't know how to have sex, that sex is not normal, that normal sex between a man and a woman and just getting it on, foreplay and so on. People are like, what the heck is that? Then, of course, there's popular culture. Popular culture influences the way we look at sex. I mean, have you listened to the songs lately? They talk about it. Like, I was just listening to a song. No, I like some of these people. I was, one of them. But I began to listen to the words. And in the words, she was describing that when she's giving him oral sex, she's looking in his eyes. And when he's in it, she's looking at in the mirror. And I'm like, okay, but they're so explicit in describing the activities and how they have sex that it leaves very little to the imagination. Now, you would have thought that they do that for you to get curious about what sex is, but it has the opposite effect, because here's what happens to the brain. When you listen to it, guess what? You become what? Stimulated. You don't need to have sex anymore because you already had it in your head. Hello, somebody. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? So now, because of that, people are emerging more and more, perhaps not as stimulated as they should be. Then enter the quadrant of erectile dysfunction. Erectile dysfunction really, if you want to know what erectile dysfunction really is, it's a mind game. It happens to men of a certain age. And nowadays, men in their 30s are getting it more frequently than ever before. And they're prescribing drugs for it. So that's where Viagra comes in. And that's where Cialis comes in. Well, those drugs have side effects that produce negative impacts on the body. So somebody who is taking a drug to get hard or to get his penis erected, what happens to him? That drug has other consequences. Sex is supposed to be spontaneous. It takes the spontaneity out of it. If you have to take a drug and to get your mind in gear, to gear up for it, you almost don't want to be bothered with it. You might as well just sit down and watch Netflix and chill. Like, if you have to do that. Then, of course, our society, popular culture again, also says that a man is a man if he has multiple partners. So the popular culture proselytizes this and promulgates this as if this is normal and this is the ideal. So a normal guy who is married with children, all of a sudden he thinks he's being left out. He always kind of thought he was left out. Now popular culture is reinforcing that he's left out because he's not bawling, because he doesn't have one here, one there, one hung up on a tree, one in a, So now sexual stimulation becomes something else. Then popular culture shows what women's bodies should look like. So we're supposed to be perpetually 20. No, that's not normal. It's not normal. We're supposed to be perpetually 20. So if we don't look 20, then he doesn't find us appealing. Well, what about you guys? Should you look perpetually 20? Is a question I want to ask. Do you think it's okay for you to walk around with a pot belly and then judge me because I turned 45, and then when I turn 45, all of a sudden I have issues that my body with the natural process of aging bring to me? So I should judge men by the same standards. Why is there a double standard? Right? And then, of course, you have the other issues of menopause in women. As our bodies change, we have periods for 30 years, 40 years. And as our bodies change, our bodies kind of say, something, I don't want to deal with this period stuff anymore. That affects our hormones. It affects our estrogen levels. It affects the way we think about sex, affects our libido and how we think. So I want to focus on that part, the libido. Because what I'm finding is that the way we think is what really makes us influences our behavior going into sex. For instance, men say they have erectile dysfunction. Well, when you go to your doctor, the minute you start talking about erectile dysfunction, he said, I got a plan for you. And he writes you a prescription for a drug. Note well that he hasn't sat down to listen to why you have erectile dysfunction. You know where erectile dysfunction comes from? You're overworked, you're overstimulated, you're tired, and you're stressed out. Of course you're going to have it. Of course you're not going to get it up. Sex is the last thing on your mind. You're not working out. You lack energy. The biggest thing is people complain about is they lack energy. And why do you lack energy? Well, you lack the energy to think about it. You're stressed. The stress of driving on 696, for instance, right? I'm just using that hypothetically, right? The stress of figuring out how to get the kids to college, the stress of making sure you have enough money saved for retirement. I mean, they continually bombard us in today's society. If you don't have this car, you're not successful. If you don't live in this neighborhood, if you don't live in a house that looks like this, if you're not wearing these clothes, if you don't have this appliances in your home, what are we supposed to do? We used to keep refrigerators for 20 years. Now I'm supposed to change a refrigerator every 2 years because you want to sell me a newer model refrigerator? So I have to go take out another debt to go buy a refrigerator. So I take it out on my credit card and I'm still paying for the last one, but now I have a new one. If you don't drive this car, you're not successful. I just took out a loan 2 years ago. So now I have to go trade this car in. Do you see what I'm saying? The constant bombarding. So men get stressed out. And guess who is the last person to tell you that he's having difficulty coping with the issues of life? A man. Because society tells him that he's supposed to be all conquering, all powerful. He's the Messiah walking on 2 legs. Well, 3 because he has a penis in there somewhere, right? You're all laughing and dying, right? But man, the society tells him that he's supposed to be handling all of this. How is he handling all of this when he's dealing with stress at work? The uncertainties of working in today's environment. I don't care if you're the hedge fund manager. If you don't make that next $144 million, your salary is out the door. You are out the door. Your home, your lifestyle, the pressure. That's what gives men erectile dysfunction. Do you realize that? It's stress. He can't get it up because he's tired and stressed out. Added to that, he comes home and the kids, for God's sake, the kids are not in control. Mom, I want this. Dad, I want that. Dad, mom, dad, mom, I want. He's like, to hell with it all. And then his wife is like, honey, we need to do this. We need to do that. We need to go here. We need to go there, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, holy macaroni. He can't get it up. So his wife is like, what's wrong? Something must be wrong with you. Yeah, he's stressed out. Totally. That's what erectile dysfunction is. So the way to handle erectile dysfunction is 2 things. You need to get rid of the stresses. Sometimes we take on more than we can manage. So you work, but in addition to work, you're block club president. You're president of your neighborhood association. You coach little league. You do all this kind of stuff. And you're tired. You're not getting enough sleep. You know what real sleep is? Not the sleep where you lay down your body, but where you shut your mind down. You're worried about the bills. You take all of this pressure to bed and you have not unpacked it. So you're not really getting enough rest that rejuvenates your cells. The other thing is we're not eating properly. We're eating more processed food than ever before. So now processed food has changed. You remember what processed food used to look like, right? When you go to the supermarket and buy your meal in a box, we call them TV dinners. And you take it home and you cook it. That's not processed food anymore. You know what processed foods are now? Take a wild guess. The meals that you order online and they give you a whole pack of meals and they tell you it's fresh from farm to table. You and I need a jolt in the head because tell me something. Since when is fresh food coming in a vacuum sealed container that is filled with preservatives? Hello? Hello. So we're eating more and more processed food. In order to de-stress, we are drinking more at home. And because of the fast pace of our lives, we're looking for more convenience. So we are buying more gadgets. We're sitting on the couch more. And we're not walking. We're not lifting weights, men. You got to get up. You got to get back to being a man. Let the hair grow on your chest. Oh, it's not manly anymore to have hair on your chest. Where did that come from? Some sort of backslash homosexual agenda to feminize men? That's another thing that is causing all this erectile dysfunction. Men have become so feminized. It's not masculine anymore for a man to stand up and say something. You can't even be a man and have hair on your chest or hair on your arm. Ooh, that's so offensive. You can't even be a man and have muscles. Oh, he intimidates me just by looking at him. He looks like a big guy who's going to punch me down. I don't like that. I don't like the sound of his voice. His voice is too deep. His voice sounds like the growler. So men have become feminized. And this is how they talk. They're afraid to be men. And you wonder why nothing else is working. Where's your testosterone? Oh, probably taking shots to make sure you don't have enough testosterone, because after all, it's going to minimize. So we have feminized men. Ladies, we did this. We feminized men in an effort to not be intimidated and to level the playing field so that we can all have access. We feminized men, much to the detriment of what we really wanted. We just wanted to be seen as equal. Because if we were seen as equal, we would what? Get paid more. Somebody's saying something. I have watched you before, and that time I watched you might as well have been on a loop. Oh, really? Really? Right? So do you see what I'm saying? So what's the deal here? What's the deal here? What's the deal? So how do we get men to come back to being men? I want to see real men. I think it's time for men to perhaps sit down and say, you know something, maybe we did some things wrong. Maybe we went overboard. Maybe we did things that we shouldn't have. maybe we did things. Maybe it's time for you guys to say, maybe we kind of overdid things, so now there's some balance to be achieved. But there's one thing that's wrong. You still are walking away with erectile dysfunction. So here are a couple things you should think about. One, de-stress. Figure out, as a man, what is important to you. Is family important to you, or is being a player important? No, don't listen to the acronyms. A player is just a man who has multiple partners, because the society is telling you that to prove that you're a real man, that by shows and so on, you have 4 different women or 5 different women, and that's okay. That, guys, that's not. It's going to hurt you later. That's what is giving you the stress, because you have to remember everybody's name, so you all call them babe, and you have to remember when you last saw one, and then you get mixed up because you're going to call out somebody's name at the wrong moment. Yeah, stuff happens, right? I thought this was taped earlier and was being pushed as a live. My bad. It was well. So do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? So somebody else is saying something true. It is, isn't it? Right. So what do you guys do? You got to sit down as a guy and you have to ask yourself, well, what's true to me? What does being a real man means to me? Right? But what if you like having sex? Then have sex with one person. Have as much sex with one person. What's wrong with that? There is nothing wrong with having sex or like having sex. Sex is, oh Lord, can I just say this? Sex is normal. Sex is a normal part of our human physiology. It is normal to want to have sex and to have sex. I am so tired. Personally, I'm so tired of the oppression and repression against people trying to uncover their sexuality and trying to talk about sex. What is this stupidity that has enshrouded the issue that have caused so many people to end up in dysfunction? Sex is normal. Sex is completely normal. You're supposed to like having sex, I hope, because it's normal and it's human. It's a normal part of human relationships, right? So we're supposed to have sex. But because of what we're human beings. It's better to have sex with one person. You have one partner, choose one partner, and you have as much sex with them as you want. Get behind a closed door. What happens in the bedroom stays in the bedroom. It's like going to Vegas, right? So somebody says, I hear what you're saying about men, but I'm a lesbian. You're a lesbian and don't you have sex? Right? Let's talk about that. Don't you have sex? So what? I don't care if you're a lesbian or not. Sex is part of being human. Now, that's on you. I mean, you're a lesbian, so you choose to have sex with women, right? So a lesbian is someone who has sex with women exclusively. Is that what it is, right? And there are bisexual people who have sex with male and female. And then there are people who exclusively have sex with same-sex people. That's what homosexual is. Okay. So you're still having sex though. That's the difference. You're still having sex, right? So as a lesbian, sex is normal. Thank you. Sex is normal. Of course it is. So a lesbian, you just have sex. So you don't have erectile dysfunction. Aren't you lucky? So you never have to worry about that. All right. But for those of us who have sex with men, that's a normal part. And here's the thing. Most men hide that. They go to their doctors and they barely say it. And then when they do say it, he gives them a pill. Don't take the pill. Do not take the pill. Go back home and talk to yourself. Change your schedule. I'm telling you, just look at your schedule and change it. You're too stressed out. Drop some of your commitments. Look at what is important to you. You're stressing yourself out. That's what's giving you erectile dysfunction. And then the granddaddy of them all is, guess what? Nutrition. I hate to tell you. It's nutrition. Do you know, have you guys noticed? Can we just be frank? We're adults. We're all grown. Can we just be frank for a little bit? Do you guys realize that we're having more issues with infertility now than ever before? Like there are more people who want to have children and no, just think about it. I'm not talking about Ray and Shanae who just go to bed and have sex. They have more children. They have children faster because sex for them is recreation rather than procreation. For most of us, sex is what? Sex is procreation and recreation. And you get to a point you're having sex because you want to have children, and then it's recreational when you're just having sex. But for some other folk, they're just having sex not to make children. They're just having sex because they have nothing else to do. So, of course, the more sex you have, the more likely you're going to get pregnant. But in talking about the issues surrounding erectile dysfunction, what I'm saying is check your nutrition. So you're busy and you're like, Harry, I don't have time to cook. I want to eat a healthy meal. I don't have time to cook. And I can't afford to have my private chef. So the in-between is they sell this idea that you can have these meals delivered to you in a box. Dude and dudettes, if it's coming in a box, it's not fresh. Unless you ordered it online from Walmart or from Kroger or from, Albertsons or Publix or one of the stores near you. But if they're going to ship it from someplace and put it in a vacuum sealed container, that's not fresh anymore. They had to put some preservative on it. Otherwise, that potato and that meat would be off. Think about that. It's like one of these other food chains that sell food and you drink it in a package and you're going to miraculously lose weight. But everything comes to you flat and you put it in the thing and it puffs up. Well, it's going to puff up in you too. That's a lot of preservatives. So in today's world, we have apps on our phones. Call up your grocery store, order the food, and pick it up on your way home. Think about what's important. We have overscheduled lives. In some families, the children, my God in heaven, some of you are going crazy because you're like, your children have so much to do. Can I ask you a question? Who is in charge of the children? Answer that question. Is it you or are the children? You are the driver. You are the children you are the parents. You're driving the children. So why are they overscheduled? Because you're trying to be like the Joneses. And if I don't get them in, people are giving their 10-year-olds SATs because if I don't do this, they'll never get into the college. For the love of God. Hey, somebody help me out. A 4-year degree is a 4-year degree. Come on, say it. A 4-year degree is a 4-year degree. A law degree is a law degree. It all has to comply with the Department of Education's curriculum, period. You go to these other schools because of what? The networking. That's all. That's all they're selling. Their curriculum is no different from the other school. Come on, people. Hey, that's it. Do you see what I'm saying? So you're driving yourselves crazy. You have the kids scheduled in soccer and ballet and Mandarin and French and Russian, and they're not yet 12. And who is paying for that? You are constantly in debt because you put your credit card down to pay for everything. You're constantly supporting lifestyle. You have too many subscriptions. Look at your subscriptions for a month and see what you're spending your money on. That's what's contributing to your stress. You're stressed out. Your credit card limit is $10,000, but every month you're operating like at $8,500. And if the credit card company goes bankrupt, you can't buy groceries. Stop. You're stressing yourselves out. That's what's contributing to it. So nutrition and stress are the biggest contributing factors to erectile dysfunction. Now, you're never going to hear the medical community say that because what? They have a vested interest to do what? Sell you drugs. So believe them if you want to. But try me for a minute. Just try me for 30 days. Just unblock. Just unhinge yourself from all of that. And then you'll see. Let me hear what my girlfriend over here is saying. I had sex this morning. Way to go, baby. 99% kissing and fondling each other, but very few times we 69, right? The nutrition counts a lot. Hey, GMOs are bad. I love you. You need to come back and talk to me. I love you. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Nutrition, guys. All right. You want to see how nutrition impacts your health. Stop drinking beers. Stop drinking alcohol. Put the cigarette down. Stop the smoking. I know you say that you're only smoking weed because it's medicinal. Put it down. Because the weed you are smoking is not weed. The marijuana you're smoking is not even real. It's a chemical product they make that they're selling. Hello, somebody. And you all are just vibing to it. Like, y'all just buy this marketing stuff. I want to be such a slick marketer that you go out and buy my books like fly them off the shelf. I'm trying to be like these people whom you believe, because anything they tell you, you believe and you do it. They're giving you packaged foods and processed foods and make you think it's fresh because they do a slick marketing campaign and they do a commercial that makes it look like you're both just having fun in the kitchen cooking something that came in a box. Did it come from your favorite grocery store, your neighborhood grocery store delivered to you that evening? No. If it's going to come to you in a vacuum because it just, they overnight it. Okay, so they didn't put anything on the steak when they took it out of the freezer. They ice pack it on FedEx. And when it was ice packed on FedEx, it didn't sit outside somewhere. Okay. Do what to do with that as you will. Hello, let me keep talking. I do have a drink now and then. I try to eat organic as much as possible. And you have a garden. Way to go. Way to go, Raven. Way to go. Way to go. Right? And even with organic foods I have found, I'm like, it's organic if I plant it in my backyard or my neighbor brings me some tomatoes or something. But organic, some of the stuff they're pointing off as organic, I'm like, you should, why is it the tomato still so shiny? Because they put the thing on it to make it shiny and appealing. I'm just trying to tell you, but change your nutrition. And by the way, you know, one of the things I found that helps me to cope with stress is nutrition. I find that I eat more protein and I deal with stress way better. Everybody else is going freaky crazy and I'm like here, right? I don't drink. And I don't smoke. Those are my choices. I've never thought that drinking and smoking was good for me. I stay away from it. So I try to, and I take calcium. Hello, stop letting them tell you that milk is not good for you. That's not true. You need milk. Milk has calcium. Calcium is a mineral that your cells need to rejuvenate. Hello, did I just help you out? So don't let them tell you not to drink milk. If you're lactose intolerant, like most of us are, I am, I force myself to drink it. And I take calcium pills when I can't. Hello. Because calcium is what? A mineral, and you need minerals to rejuvenate your cells. I guarantee you, if you start drinking milk and start taking calcium, you're going to see that your erection changes. I promise you that. Right? So increase your protein, right? So make sure you're eating your peas, your beans, right? And taking your protein as much as possible. And guys, for the love of God, I know you hate eating salads and broccoli, but men, can you eat some salads? It will help you. And put the liquor down. No, you don't need a liquor to make you go to sleep. It has the opposite effect. Some of you are like, yeah, but I need a liquor to get it up so I can do my girl and I can go to bed. Stop. Change. Right? Change. Right? And let me hear what Raven is saying. No, I don't drink at all. No, I don't drink. No, I don't drink at all. Can you believe that? I don't have a drink. No, I am not a social drinker. And I don't drink wine. Every home in America has at least 3 bottles of wine. Because when you watch movies, what are Americans always doing? Holding a wine glass or a beer. You know who is doing that? That's called product placement. Right? Those are the manufacturers putting those in, so you get the idea that if you want to be like that person, you have to walk around with a glass. So every woman goes home every evening and she has a glass of wine. And a guy goes home, grabs a beer and sits down. Or he pours himself a scotch, a whiskey, whether it's Jack Daniels or whatever. And he has a drink. That stuff plays with your blood sugar levels. Do you know that? It wreaks havoc on your kidneys. Come on, we're hurting ourselves over time. So you tell me that it's only one drink, but that one drink adds up if you have it 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 52 weeks a year. It adds up over time. You're having thinning hair, nutrition. You're not feeding your cells the nutrition that it needs. So you go down to GNC and drink more processed stuff, right? Places like GNC. Seriously. You go buy more whey protein. Do you know what that is that you're drinking? No. Can you read the label? What does it say? Did it say come from a plant? Or it says, it has like 50 syllables, 50 letters in one word. And none of them make a word that you can pronounce. Not even if you spoke Russian or hieroglyphics. So what is that? Take your vitamins, work out, go back to basics. Remember how your father was, especially you men, because most of you grew up around your fathers and your uncles, and they just seem to just get it up. I mean, you were playing and they would just say, man, I'm just so whatever. And now you're looking at it like, I can't even get it up. Erectile dysfunction is stress and nutrition. And they're never going to tell you that because they want to sell you pills that give you cancer. And they don't like me. And I don't like them. Because I'm going to tell you, it is what it is. Right? That's all that it comes down to. So how do you fix it? Well, you de-stress, declutter your lives. Right? Declutter your life. Start figuring out what is more important to you. Is living longer and having a good quality of life important? Or do you want to live wasted and you can't get it up and you have to constantly sit there on the couch and then you find out that the 30-year-old woman doesn't stimulate you. So now you start looking at 15-year-olds and you're like curious, like, what? And you're like, man, that's what moves me nowadays. That's where all this creepiness is coming from. That's causing our young people to feel creepy. You know, your 10-year-old daughter is like, ooh, he makes me feel creepy, mommy. I don't want to be around so-and-so. Because you are constantly over the over-sexualization. This is why I tell you all, at night before you go to bed, shut the TV off. Put your phones down. Turn the screens off. 20 minutes before you fall asleep. I guarantee you'll be out like a light. The overstimulation, brain just constantly on fire. We are laying down physically, but this is not asleep. You know what I do at nights? I swear to God, the nights when I don't tell my brain to shut down, I don't sleep. So I tell myself, shut down. I tell my brain, shut down, go to sleep. See you in the morning. And I wake up the next morning like, poof, bouncing off the bed. Let me see what my friends over here are saying. I make sure I get all the vitamins and 90 minerals. Yes. I like weed though occasionally. And it's as long as it's occasionally. Never made a kid feel creepy. Well, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Shout out to you for not making anyone feel creepy. Right? Jeez. Guys, we're so overstimulated. Do you realize this? You notice I didn't talk about the mass shooting? Why am I going to talk about that? Isn't that re-traumatizing all of us? No, I'm not going there. I promised you all from the beginning of the year that I'm never going to talk about that stuff because it's bringing what? Trauma. I want to solve the issues that we are confronted with that is destroying the fabric of our lives, our relationships. Because it's destroying us. Our bodies are being torn down. Hey, right, hello, right? Because we're not eating well and we are too stressed out. I kid you not. I kid you not, right? Right? We've got to get back to basics. And the way around this mountain is what? Nutrition. You got to look at what we're eating. What we're eating is so important. You have no idea. We completely underestimate it. A few months ago, I think it was back in January or so, a friend of mine told me that she found this diet. I think it's called a bee diet. And she said that she wanted to get pregnant. And she found this diet called a bee diet, and she went on it to eat it. When she described it, I'm like, but that's how I eat. I said, but that's how I eat all the time. You know what it is? It's eliminating red meat from your diet. What I have found here, the foods that we're eating, especially the meats and the chicken, is so filled with hormones. It's no good for our bodies, right? So we plump up. You notice how everybody is plumpy and I call us all. I say we're all chub nation. We're all chub because we're so plumped up. We need surgery to cut off the extra fat. It's not just because we don't eat, and you can't compare yourselves to Europeans because they live in a different land, right? Europe is small. Most of the countries in Europe is one big continent that looks like the American, that looks like the United States. Okay, let's just be clear, right? So they live in one little country and they walk a lot. They don't have as many cars. Their roads are narrow. The cars are smaller. Here we have big roads, 8-lane freeways down in Atlanta in one direction, right? So we need big cars, right? So the foods that we eat here are plumped up with hormones. That's never going to augur well for us, is it? So try to eat as many nutrients as possible that come from plants. Yeah, eat your broccoli. Yeah, they have pesticides on it. Wash it off, soak it off, right? Eat your pesticide. Eat your fruits and veggies, right? Eliminate red meat and try to eat. We eat way too much chicken. You know that? We eat way too much chicken. You eat chicken in the morning, chicken in the evening, chicken at night, chicken. We eat, if you look at what you cook, you eat chicken 3 or 4 times per week. That's 3 or 4 times per week you're putting hormones into your body. Some days you just don't eat at all. So when she talked to me about the bee diet, it's rice cooked with vegetables. So how I do it was I make a stir fry. I call it a vegetable stir fry. So what I do, you prefer vegetarian? Me too. So what I do is I get my stir fry veggies, right? So I like my carrots, my peas, beans, right? Broccoli, cauliflower, all that stuff. And I saute it with onions, tomatoes, and with, seasoning to taste. And then I cook the rice separate, right? So the rice is being cooked while I'm stir frying the veggies, right? Sometimes I make eggs on the side and I add the eggs to the veggies after the eggs are made, and I eat that with rice. That's a meal for me all day. That's a meal for me. That's a bee diet. You know what that is? It's replenishing your body. Make smoothies yourself. You don't need to buy a pack processed food. Make smoothies yourself, right? You want to go on a liquid diet, go buy some carrots, right? And some ginger, boil it, put it in a blender, blend it and drink that stuff. It will make you go like, you won't stop peeing. You'll literally just stand at the bathroom door and watch TV on your screen. You will not stop going. And then after it cleanses you, you're fine. And you'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know so much stuff was in me, right? Eat, drink, get your yogurt and put it in a blender with some strawberries and a banana. Matter of fact, just blend your fruits and drink it. How about that, right? Do you know that eating cucumbers will make you go? Just slice the cucumber up and eat that thing. Make you go. Change your nutrition. And I know for a lot of guys, you go out after work, right? After hour. What is it called? Happy hour. Right? And you go and you eat nuts. Everybody puts their dirty fingers. People are coming from their cars. They just filled up the gas tank. They just came out of the bathroom and you all eat from the same thing. And you eat nuts. Now, nuts are good for you if you get it raw. So you can, for men, I'm going to tell you this secret. If you get raw peanuts, not the roasted type, go to the vegetable store, the farmer's market, and you were like, where is there one in your area? There is one in your area. Go to the vegetables market and look for peanuts in its natural state. And put that peanuts in a blender with egg whites and add flavor to it, like if you want milk to it or whatever, or evaporated milk or something. And blend our yogurt and blend that and drink it, you'll have an erection from here to here. And you will say to yourself, what the heck happened? Your body needs protein. It responds to protein. And you wonder why people in other lands have more children and so on. Well, they're not eating as much processed food as we are. So they may not eat as frequently as we do, but they're definitely not eating foods with hormones and so on and as processed as we do, right? Food for thought. It's all about nutrition and it's about decluttering your lives. And if we declutter our lives and eat properly, it's going to impact our sexuality. It's going to impact how we feel about ourselves. I went on a vegetarian diet. You want to know what happened to me? All of a sudden, I have water weight like I've never believed. They did warn me that I would have water weight. I just never thought it would be a problem for me. And you should see, my kids are like amazed because I'm someone who doesn't eat frequently and I don't eat a lot. When I do eat, I don't eat a lot, right? But it's the vegetables, because most vegetables have what? A lot. It's like 70% water. So when you eat as many vegetables, I eat more vegetables than I eat anything else. Guess what? Where does the water go? In my body. So I have water weight. So if you look at me, you would think I gained weight. I kind of gained water weight because of my diet, but I'm not eating the processed stuff. I can't, I was telling my kids, it was July 4th, right? And my body is wired to want barbecue. Gosh, you know what? I literally, my neighbor made barbecue ribs and I put the sauce on it and sucked the sauce off just to imbibe the taste to satisfy that craving. But I couldn't eat the meat. I went to someone's house and they gave me something with meat and I ate it and my stomach was so upset. I was like, darn it. I changed. My body changed. So change your way of eating and it will change your life. It makes you sleep better. And put the drink down. You don't need it. You really don't. We're stressed out. Yeah, we have a lot of stress. Go do yoga. And I'm not saying you guys are looking at me funny, like you want me to sail. No, I am saying it's meditation. Just sit down and meditate. Lift weights. Guys, get back to lifting weights to build your arms up. It also exercises the muscles around the heart. And change your diet. That's going to impact your groin area. It's going to impact your ability to get and sustain erections. Right? So remember what I told you? Egg whites with raw peanuts in a blender with yogurt. or whatever flavor you choose to have it with, and blend that bad boy and drink it and come back and tell me if that doesn't work. I promise you it does. It's all about nutrition. When you start pursuing eating more vegetables, you're going to see a change in your diet. You're going to eliminate more. If you don't believe me, start eating fish more. You find yourself going to the bathroom 3-4 times per day, just eliminating. Your body is like, well, welcome. This is how I was made to be. Right? Not the processed nuts that has added sugar and salt to it. And yes, I do take sugar. I take sugar in my tea every day. That's when I have sugar for the day. I don't do a lot of, every now and then I crave like a cookie or something, but they give me a headache. So after a while, I'm like, if it's going to give me a headache, I'm not going to eat it. I'll just sit here. I like certain chips. The only chips I like is a local brand called Better Made, but it's giving me a headache now because what? I'm eating more veggies. So my body, changed. And it's saying, can't do the processed stuff. Right? I hope I helped you. I'm so sorry. I know this was kind of out of the box and it was just kind of raw, kind of like, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But I felt like there are too many men who are complaining of erectile dysfunction, having thinning hair, and just going crazy about how life has treated you. You get to 45 and people start having sex with people younger than them. And so, no. Time out. What you need is a physiological change. It's a whole body makeover in terms of your mind, body, and spirit. Get engaged in the process. And that's how we change our bodies. We can't do anything about the environment, can we? Because we don't have the control over that, right? So we can't change the emissions. We can't change what comes out. No, we can't do that. But you know what? We can change what goes in through here. So don't let them fool you by telling you you have to drink this and you have to have a drink after work. And for the love of God, people, stop taking substances. You're hurting yourselves. You know you're going to pay for that stuff. You know the white powder stuff that people put up their noses, the heroin, the cocaine, the meth. Stop. Don't start. Here's something. Don't even start it. Don't smoke. You want to relieve stress? Go work out. I promise you, get weights at home. There's a store called Five Below. You don't have to order anything online. Go to Five Below and they have weights and some mats. The mats cost $3. You buy them, interlock them, buy the weights, lay down on your floor, find an app on TV that works, and start lifting weights. Do on-the-spot jogging right where you are. You can do this. It will work. And you can go to the gym. It's a social exercise. It forces you to have to get up and work out because you have to get up, get in the car, drive to the gym, and make the effort. And then the people are looking at you, so they're holding you accountable. So you have to really work out, right? What do I think about coffee? I'm glad you asked. I think coffee is a stimulant. I find that I drink coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. I've probably drank coffee maybe 6 times in my entire life. I don't like coffee. But the few times that I drank it, I found that it made my heart beat too fast. My youngest daughter had developed a taste for coffee products in the mornings. So I was making her iced coffee in the mornings. And she said she would get to school and her heart was racing. She noticed that her heart raced. So we stopped. So I said, there you go. Coffee is a stimulant. I think coffee is a stimulant. I don't care how there are no health benefits attached to coffee. My grandparents were coffee farmers. So there's no nutritional value attached to coffee. Coffee is a stimulant. That's all it does. It stimulates you. And it is, listen to this. You ready for this one? It's going to send your blood pressure through the roof. So talk about erectile dysfunction. There's a correlation between picking up your morning coffee. Right? And yet they're going to come after me. And do I look like I'm going to run? Right? So no, I don't like coffee. I think coffee is a stimulant. So it gets you, and then you have to pipe down at the end of the day and drink something else. No. right? Everything in moderation. Nothing wrong with having 1 cup. But how much, people go and they want a double macchiato with 3 shots of espresso. You're killing yourself. You're sending blood pressure over the top. Your heart is racing. You realize that, right? So your heart is racing so fast, your organs have to overproduce. So no coffee. No coffee. No coffee for me, right? Raven, I hope I answered your questions. But it seems to me that all of us, I'm a work in progress. Because like I said, I changed my diet completely and started eating more vegetables. And no matter how much I work on, I gained water weight. Like I sound like a water blimp. Like because I'm eating. And guess what? The funny thing is, I can't go back to eating regular stuff. All I crave are veggies. So guess what breakfast looks like for me now? Breakfast for me is eggs. It's been that way for a while, right? But in summer, so guess what I make? I make potatoes, diced potatoes with onions and peppers, right? With my eggs. That's it. I eat that and I stay full like for most of the day. I don't get hungry again until about 3 or 4 o'clock. Then I eat something and then I'm done for the day. Right? I kid you not. I kid you not. I went somewhere the other day and a friend said, "Wow." And I said, "Yeah, it looked like I gained weight." And he said, "Not really." I said, it's because of my diet. So my doctor is freaking out. And she's like, "Oh, well, we started on this program. So," and I'm like, "Yeah, right." I exercise a lot, mostly my mouth. I talk too much because I'm opinionated. Well, Raven, right while you're sitting there and talking, you can do some movements. Have you moved your legs and move your arms? You can do this to move your arms. You can do this, right? This strengthens this, right? And it creates that line there. You can twist while you're talking. You can stand there and twist your body, right? You can also exercise, pretend you're riding a bike while you're sitting and move your legs, right? There's nothing wrong with having an opinion, darling. Nothing at all, right? That just means you're intelligent. As long as you express yourself in a way that you can communicate, there's nothing wrong with it, right? You're making me hungry. I have not had breakfast yet. Hey, visiting USA from Germany for bodybuilding competition. Hey, hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to the USA. Right? Welcome to the USA for a bodybuilding championship. Why don't you tell us about that? Tell us about that. Right? Somebody's visiting the USA from Germany for a bodybuilding competition. What do you guys eat? What is nutrition like in Germany? I've been to Hamburg, but that was like 20 years ago. I was on a business trip for marketing. So it was very different then. And of course, we stayed in a hotel. So you eat everywhere you go in the world, they provide you with a continental breakfast. So you eat the same stuff, right? So what is that like in Germany? Tell me. Wow, I do that. Move around a bit. We eat a lot of potatoes. No kidding. Is that right? Huh. Well, you know what they say about potatoes, right? Potatoes has what in it? Say it. Vitamin A. Vitamin A is what? A nutrient. It's a mineral, isn't it? Right? So it's it's one of the building blocks of life. It helps your cells, right? So potatoes are good for you. And sex shouldn't be difficult to talk about. Prevents problems later, it seems. I love you and that attitude, right? Sex shouldn't be difficult to talk about, right? Thank you for chiming in. Hope you enjoy your competition, right? Hope you win if that's what you're doing. But be that as it may, we're talking about nutrition because we're doing this holistic approach to healing our bodies. And a lot of the issues that we experience in sexuality come from our nutrition because our bodies have changed, right? And yes, people are living longer today. I think we're propped up with medicine, right? So people are living longer today because we had vaccinations earlier that prevented a lot of the childhood illnesses and the illnesses that would seem to overtake us as we turn 30 and 40. So we're living longer, but we're not living healthily longer. We're living longer. People have dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and all kinds of illnesses. And forget about the granddaddy of it all is cancer, right? Cancer just seems to be wreaking havoc on people's bodies. Have you seen it? And what they use to treat cancer, chemotherapy, is liquid radiation. I thought I had told you we had a show on that earlier this year. Chemotherapy is liquid radiation. Now, you and I are healthy. So if they were to give you liquid radiation, like in the bag that they give to people who are going through chemo, within 24 hours, we would be dead because it shuts down your major organs. It causes hair loss. It shuts your major organs down. Well, that's what chemotherapy is. That's why when people are sick with cancer, you give them chemotherapy, it escalates death. It's liquid radiation that they're putting in our bodies. God help us all, right? God help us all. So don't give them a chance to put the cigarette down. The cigarette is not the tobacco that your grandfather used. Rolled tobacco. My grandfather also planted tobacco. And he was addicted to it. Nicotine is very addictive because it made his fingertips black and his mouth. And he had to have a cigar every day. He had a pipe and he would make it warm and then put it in the pipe and smoke it. Gosh, it smelled good, I think, for years. Oh my gosh, right? But cigarette that we're smoking, you buy in packages today, like everything else, is filled with what? Additives. Did you know that they put ammonia in cigarettes? It's one of the addictive substances. It hasn't changed. It's still addictive. Don't start. If your children are on it, get them off. If you're on it, put it down. Find a way. Go to hypnotherapy. Do whatever it is, because a lifetime of smoking is only leading one way. It's only going to get you one way, right? Sorry. And yeah, there are a few people who have lived long while smoking, but I tend to look at, did they have stress? Did they eat right? Right? Some people just the luck of the draw. They're the exception, but if you continue to smoke and drink, it's not going to go well for you. And my friends, that is not to say that none of us have the placebo that is eternal youth. That does not exist. We're organic beings, which means our bodies are designed to grow up and then grow down. We're designed to go back to ashes and go back to dust. However we exit that process and enter that part of the life cycle, it is part of the life cycle, right? It's painful, but it is what it is, right? So this doesn't mean that you're going to live forever. I am just saying that while you are yet here, live healthily and live gloriously. Live comfortably, healthily, and gloriously, so that we can enjoy being here while we're here. Nobody wants to be tuttering around in a nursing home with a walker and leaving a pee trail behind us, right? So next week we're going to talk some more about, how, the common things associated with aging, like what are the things that prevent us from having good sex? What are those things? Well, erectile dysfunction is one. Tomorrow we'll talk about menopause for women. And what can we do to work around that? Yeah, menopause can be delayed. Believe it? Yeah. Why do these things happen? Again, we're organic beings. So erectile dysfunction perhaps happens as we age, but it shouldn't be happening to men who are in their 30s and 40s. That should be something that turns up when you're 60s. 55 plus, you're slowly getting to the stage where it's taking a while longer to get cranked, to getting started. But not at 35, not at 40, too early, right? And then when it becomes a problem, kind of like, really? We need to address that with nutrition, right? So tomorrow we're going to talk about menopause and how menopause affects sex. And what do men do? What do women do? When you encounter menopause, you enter into menopause, and having sex and what happens after menopause. Can you still have sex? And I'm like, do you know that? See, I'm going to leave you with this. You want to hear something funny? So years ago, I was driving down 8 Mile East in Detroit towards Warren. And I think I crossed over one of those streets. Guess what happened? I saw a man in his 70s coming out of a strip club in the middle of the day. He had probably just gotten a social security check and probably ran in there and let it rain. So if that does not make you think differently about seniors having sex, think again, right? Did I forget to say you are a beautiful person inside and very cute outside? Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Ammonia in cigarettes, lung cleaner. Yeah, it happens. Right. So, Raven, join me tomorrow. We're going to talk about menopause and sex. Thank you, Seth, for coming to the USA and so on. Interesting country we have here, isn't it? Nice and big and everything. Come back sometime, explore all of America, right? Right? America is it's a fun place to visit when you're coming from somewhere else. For us, we just live here and we're like, okay, but we actually enjoy living here. Right? So see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much. I enjoyed my time. Tomorrow is menopause and sex. Yeah, we're talking about it. Right? Be blessed, everybody. See ya. Thanks so much, everybody. See you. Gotta go. Thanks so much. Be blessed.